Martin, the dolphins are there.
That
It
was
was so
super
cute.
nice.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's when I realized, okay, she has a different side to her.
So before we met, that had been broken multiple times, and I guess it reached a point that I was unaware. I thought I had moved onward, like, okay, this was not meant to be. I'm so glad I'm out. I was relieved, and I thought, I don't need to go to like counseling or therapy right now because I feel I'm clear why this didn't work and I'm clear about the situation. That pressure, that
Yeah.
anxiety, or
It's
that
not
high
part of
blood
you
pressure,
anymore.
right? It was part of your story, but it's not affecting you now. And so that's when you've healed. As victims,
Yeah,
we will
absolutely.
always feel less and low, but if we say, well, I learned that I want a guy that values more than just the looks. I want him to love me and be attracted, but I want him to value my character, my personality. I want that. Welcome to Happily Ever After with the Raj family. So, honey, what lie about yourself did you believe after broken relationships? And how did you replace it with truth?
Well, with my broken relationship, after seeing all of that, and also people telling me, my ex-girlfriend telling me that my relationships always lasted only 1 year, and that she was fearful that that relationship will last for a year as well. And interestingly, it did last for a year. That's it. And I was
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
exactly self-fulfilling prophecy from her side.
Yeah.
Because she was so fearful that the relationship was going to end, and she would try to manipulate so that I will be in the relationship. She would say a whole lot of stuff that didn't even make sense to me, but she would say, and that she has observed that I have it in me.
Like a pattern.
Yeah. And one of those is that my relationship lasts only for a year, even though before her I had only one relationship. So I don't know what she was referring to, but yeah, it was kind of shocking to hear that, and I was not sure how to react about it because she was fearful and she was projecting it that way. And for me to hear that, I'm like, is this true? And when she decided to end the relationship, it was 1 year. Of course,
Interestingly,
yeah,
she ended.
yeah.
She fulfilled it wholeheartedly.
Her own prophecy, and that lie I believed, even though it was not consciously but subconsciously. I believed that lie because when we started having our relationship and courting, I had that fear, and I think I even shared it with you that I don't know, but I've been told that my relationships last only 1 year, and I hope it won't, because I clearly saw God leading me in this relationship, and God was the one who brought me and you together. So I didn't want it to last just for a year, but I don't
It
know.
was
But
a
then
sincere fear. And I
it was a
remember
fear,
you
yeah.
sharing that was like a fear what she had mentioned, and that looking back you could see, yes, they did not last longer. So it was like really real for you in a way.
Correct. But how did I work on it? I mean, how was it changed? It changed because it lasted more than a year. Even now, we've been together for almost 5 years. We will be married for 3 years, right? So
Yes.
after the first year of our relationship, I was very clear. Like, okay, what she said was just a manipulative way of putting things in my mind, making me to feel like I shouldn't break up with her within the right after the first year
Prove that
mark.
you're
Yeah.
different, or that what she
Yeah.
says is not true.
Yeah, and it did have an impact in me. It did have an impact in my mind, and I wanted to not have that. But again, interestingly, she herself broke up so that thinking that I will get back with her. But that's a manipulative way, and I was never into people that like to manipulate me and anyone else for that matter. So yeah, that was one of the biggest lies that I believed. Again, not consciously, but subconsciously, it had taken root, and I had to work on it to know. And of course, the evidence is that we've been married. We were in relationship for 2 years, which is more than 1 year for sure.
I
And
remember as time went by, you would be like, "Well, now we've been together, so that was a lie." Like until now, here and then, you're like, "Well, this is how long." So it's
yeah,
like
and
with time destroying that lie that was starting to take root in your heart.
exactly. And sometimes other people also would say certain things, and that is because she would have gone and shared with them, and then they know only one side of the story, and they believe completely what she said instead of listening to both sides of the story. And so when other people also share certain things, you feel like, okay, you are the wrong,
Right. I
and
have
you,
this problem.
yeah. But that's why I always was like, wow, now people, all the people that spoke negative things about my relationships and all of that, it's all disproved. I've been in a relationship for more than a year. I've been married for more than a year. So it's all
Yes.
perfectly fine.
Praise
So
the Lord.
yeah.
No.
Did
That's real. That's
yeah.
real things.
Did you have anything that you faced like that? Some type of a lie that someone said, or you yourself developed, or even this 1 year type of thing?
I had a lot. I think not only I had a lot. I think the first um lie was in one of my first like relationships and then breakup, and there was a lot portrayed that it was more what the person felt. They were just portraying it to me. So they just wrote a lot of things that they thought, that I was just without ambition in life and depressive and all of these things that I would bring them down. And even though I read that and I was like, what? I mean, I know I'm not like in cloud nine all the time and like super all the time laughing, but I never saw like I'm a depressive person. I might have my moments that I'm down, but it's not. So I didn't believe it, but it started to take root in my heart. Like, am I maybe, a depressive person? And, you know, will I ever make a guy happy? And so a lot of things started to really, I questioned myself. And later on, I had this lie already growing up, and it was just, I think, reinforced that I was not attractive physically or romantically. People would love me as friend, but then even boyfriends would be like, yeah, but you're not really what I would like, and I don't feel attracted to you. And for me, that was so painful because it's like, how can you even mention to me that you want to be with me as a girlfriend if you're not attracted to me? Like, that's so, like, do you have eyes? Do you see? Do you plan that I change through the time, like evolution or what? So I was very like disturbed by it and confused because I had people before that really were like, you're the one and we're so in love with you. But then this kind of was reinforcing my insecurities from childhood. Like, I'm skinny and whatever. I never really received comments or praise for beauty or cuteness. It was more like I was never enough. So later on, as I started, I definitely went to like counseling and everything for both situations with different people. And one of them specifically, I really was like, this is what was portrayed, and I want to work through that. So I think it was reframing, like, I don't have to accept what the person said as who I am. I can make choices. Whatever it was the situation, later on it helped. The person themselves came and apologized and said, I was portraying my situation to you. So that helped me get out of it even more fully. Like, okay, I was not crazy. These were just some dysfunctionalities I faced. And so yeah, it helped me to reframe and be like, okay, that's not who I am. Then when we met, you were the first actual boyfriend I had that really valued me physically. And I was a little shocked. And when you would ask me, like, why are you so cute? Or things like that. For me, it was so hard to believe you really meant it. For me, it was like, I mean, like, I don't know, I'm glad you're happy with what you see. You know, that was more like, I was still, like, I knew now that someone needed to value me, but I almost was skeptical that someone would really be happy and really be satisfied. Like, and so I was like, okay, does he really, really mean it? Like, is he trying to be nice and flatter and say a lot of words, but he doesn't really feel it or whatever? So through time and your constant reaffirmation that I was beautiful and that you really felt attracted and that, you know, you really saw cuteness and beauty, I was like, okay, you know, I know each one of us is wonderfully made, but not everyone sees that beauty and wonder in others. You know, it has to be the special person God has for you that you will marry. If not, there's no point in marrying. So, yeah,
Just
I
one
think
point.
that refrained. Yeah, I mean, I'm just sharing those two main lies that I can think of.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I think they didn't know how to cherish you, because you have a lot of ambitions, but if they didn't see it, that's their problem that they didn't see it. Number one. Number two is you are fun. They didn't know how to bring it out of you. You know, we always play, we laugh. You're laughing a lot, right? Almost every day you laugh. We make jokes and we play around and all of that. They didn't know how to bring that out of you. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
before
they
we
were
got into
depressed themselves, I guess.
we got into a relationship, for me also it felt like you were a very serious and calm person, but very serious and all of that. But then when we started our relationship and when we got a little more closer, things changed. And yeah, I started to see a very different Debbie. And in fact, I don't know if you remember when we all went together to the beach and then you started shouting, Martin, Martin, the dolphins are there. You know,
That
it
was
was so
super
cute.
nice.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's when I realized, okay, she has a different side to her. She's not like all serious and calm person. She also has that excitement and she's a fun person to be around. So that's my understanding from my perspective about them. But
I guess that's not the point. Like, we don't need to analyze them, but definitely it makes impressions and lies
yeah,
that we have to deal with later.
yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that different people have different ways of living and bringing things out from the other person, and it can definitely take a hold when someone else is telling you, yeah, you're a very depressive person, you're very calm and you don't have ambitions and all of that. Even though they have confessed, it will definitely take a root in your heart or whoever receives that. And the point is that don't take it personally. When the right person comes, things will change. When the right person comes, they will know how to unlock those things and you will be able to flourish even better. That's the point.
Yeah. And if someone is not really seeing your value and feeling like you have things that are not good for them, let them go. Like,
Yeah,
you don't want
yeah.
to continue a relationship like that.
You don't have to
Because
force
they're
them
gonna
to be in it.
they're
and you-
gonna be feeling stuck, and you're gonna feel terrible because you're never gonna measure up to
Exactly.
their expectations. So.
Yeah, and you will always feel like you need to improve and you need to improve and you need to improve. You're not enough.
Yeah.
Life happens. My question to you, love: what invisible baggage did you unknowingly carry into our relationship, and how did you finally unpack it?
We have something exciting that we want to share. Maybe you're like, what is the strength in my relationship? How is the quality of my relationship like? How can I gauge or get an idea where I'm at or what things maybe I need to grow?
Or you might not even know how your relationship is growing, and you are trying to figure it out and you don't know how to figure it out. We have a beautiful free resource for you. It is a 3-minute relationship strength quiz. You can find it on our website. It's free for everyone. You can just go put our website. We'll put it here right here. It's called naturalhealingproject.com, and then you just scroll down. You will be able to find, it says relationship strength quiz. It is for anyone that is committed, single, or in relationship. Feel free to go and check it out and do the quiz.
You will get a percentage of the strength of your relationship with the answers you give and some tips, advice, and suggestions to move forward in strengthening even more. I think you know.
But I would like you to share so everyone can.
Think you know what I'm gonna say. I think invisible for me was the trust situation because I always was very trusting. I would just trust words, trust people so full-heartedly that I would not even, second guess once. And I would just be so secure or naive. I don't know how to say it, but I didn't have any huge traumas before, so I just didn't have that fear. So before we met, that had been broken multiple times, and I guess it reached a point that I was unaware. I thought I had moved onward, like, okay, this was not meant to be. I'm so glad I'm out. I was relieved, and I thought, I don't need to go to like counseling or therapy right now because I feel I'm clear why this didn't work and I'm clear about the situation. So I thought I was, free from that. But the patterns that had repeated, I guess, created the trauma that I was unaware I had. And I had now many insecurities that when you came into the picture, I was very not trusting, very concerned and kind of paranoid about lies and things being hidden and having to find out at certain point that, this was all a fake situation. And so those were things that I was unaware. So I had not worked on them. And then they resurfaced. And I think you notice it very clearly because I didn't trust. I had a lot of things that would come up, feelings, emotions, and blockages because of my past, not necessarily fully the current situation. And then I would speak about it often, which is a sign of trauma that hasn't been dealt with. So I would speak often about the situation, or I would be very sensitive around that, I guess. So I think that was definitely one.
But how did you finally unpack it, or how did you overcome it?
I think it was recognizing that it was not dealt with and then actively reframing certain thoughts, looking for counseling in our relationship for that specifically. And now I didn't do it by myself, but we also together went to try to work through that. Just having a safe space because now we were in a relationship. So having a safe space where I could share, open up, and kind of, I had to, I guess, I'm trying to think, like, part of it was reframing, part of it was just processing the situation, because in a way, I think I had not really processed it. It's kind of, I let it go and I said, let's move forward. And I started to get involved in many things to kind of get out of that breakup. And so I didn't really process it fully, maybe. So I think part of it was letting the process of grieving in a way take place. Grieving in the sense of like you need to feel your emotions, you need to process your thoughts, and then you need to let God heal that part. So the counseling together, the safe space that you understood and you were patient with my healing was healing for me. And then just me and God and with tools I had learned from before. But I would highly say and recommend, if you have not looked for counseling or if you have not dealt with things, definitely look for someone that personally can work with you and really work through, processing your feelings, your pains, your fears, your trauma, because it needs reframing, it needs new perspective, it needs practical tools to work on those things. So they gave us practical tools, how to
Absolutely.
communicate, how to express, how to understand that this was a trauma point, and not for him to get irritated with me if I brought it as I was healing, not for me to feel bad if I felt that way. So we kind of had to face it together at that point, even though it was not your fault, but we were now
I remember
together.
it was hurtful, but it is what it is. When you said that you couldn't trust me 100%, but again, we are at a different place right now because you were more conscious about it and you worked on it, and it was a teamwork, and God really helped to make this thing work.
And some things, time doesn't heal, but as you're working on the healing, you need time, basically. So time itself doesn't heal. As you've said it recently in
In my
one of
short.
your shorts,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Time never heals. Time is just part of the thing, but the main thing is God who gives the healing.
And what you do with that time.
Yeah. What you do with
So
that time. During
time
that
by
time.
itself, things can be there forever and come up all the time, and people after they're 60 years old and they still have trauma from 5-year
Childhood,
old.
yeah.
So time does not heal. But if we use the time and allow God and the right tools, and we are actively implementing God's truth, His promises, allowing Him to heal us, looking for practical things from counselors to help us deal with that emotional, mental part, then it. So I think, that's how I was able to come out of it. And when you know that you have come out of it, is that now you think about it and you're not emotionally feeling that pressure, that
Yeah.
anxiety, or
It's
that
not
high
part of
blood
you
pressure.
anymore.
Right. It was part of your story, but it's not affecting you now. And so that's when you've healed to a greater degree. Did you had any point from
No, we
that?
can move. We can move on.
Okay. So another question I have is, what does waiting well look like while healing before a relationship?
I think this again goes along with the short that I put, but not necessarily healing time. Waiting well, how does it look like? Number one, I would say process it. Take time to process it. Many times we tend to many times we just tend to brush it under the rug, and we are trying to move forward with whatever it is and try to keep ourselves busy and do other things. But I think it is very important for us to take time to process it, write down what are the emotions we go through from that trauma or whatever it might be from the breakup. Another one is open up to a community, a trusted community that you can share and that can encourage you, hold you accountable, but also help you to move on with your life and not keep you down there. Because if you don't have the type of community, you're going to either replay it and replay it and replay it, and it's going to be there for years. It's going to just be present right in front of your face that, oh, this happened to you, this happened to you. But if you have a community, it definitely helps you to release what's in you, but also it will help you, they will help you not to dwell in that traumatic incident or in the breakup. The other one is forgiving. That's one of the biggest things that we always encourage people to do is forgive the other person. Forgive, again, should not be mistaken to going back to the person. Forgiving is letting go of the past, letting go of whatever has happened, and but before that there is one more step though. that is to accepting God's forgiveness for us. When you accept that type of forgiveness, knowing that all that we've done is something that is against God's will, but God has still forgiven us, then when you accept that forgiveness, you are able to forgive the other person, whoever has wronged you. Maybe they didn't even wrong you, you just broke up with good terms, but still that part is there where you will have to forgive the other person, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself is a worldly term. Forgive yourself technically is accepting the forgiveness from God. And with that, you will definitely, it makes it easier for you to forgive the other person, the situation. Then you will be able to work on other steps, like have a friend that will walk with you, that can share their experiences, or counselor or coaches, work with them as well. So there are several factors that come into while you are waiting well, right? Because you don't want the other person to be a rebound as well. You know, you break up here and the next week you're going with the other person. Is like, okay, did you even process the whole thing? Because the other person shouldn't have to face what you have not fixed. When that happens, you're basically cheating them of what good things that you could give them. So that's my point.
No, very good, very good. Forgiveness is huge. So you can let it go, you can process it, and you can let them go so they're not part of your story forever.
Exactly.
If not, they can take over.
Yeah,
Like the past, the hurts, take over everything.
that's why they say the phrase is that they live rent free in your head. You know, and it's so true, because you're always thinking about them, and you keep that memory so fresh that even few years later it's still fresh and you're still living that. And you don't want that type of mindset.
So what words of advice, counsel from your experience would you tell someone that maybe has gone through a breakup recently or is looking to heal from a past relationship trauma and start a new relationship? What would be your main words? Or
Main words, I will say, first, process it, forgive them, the other person, accept forgiveness from God, and then give that forgiveness to the other person. Find good counselors or coaches that you can work with, that will help you to move on. And then find a community of friends. It can also be multiple friends that you can talk with, that you can share your deepest hurts, feelings, traumas, and don't make it into a burden for them, but share it with them. And when they encourage you, accept that encouragement. Many times what happens is we want to share about our traumas so much that we don't have time to listen to what they have to share, and sometimes they might not be the best, which is okay. Sometimes they are more playful and stuff, which is even good as well. It doesn't have to be always serious type of conversation, because you are already doing it with the counselors and coaches. So when you're in the friend circle, you can be more friendly. Try to get yourself active in some games, sports, tennis, or baseball, or whatever.
other hobbies.
Find hobbies, implement that, and then also take up projects. Projects are really helpful as well, but you just don't go take up projects and everything else is left aside. You have to process it and then move on, because if you don't work on those things, the projects are there as a temporary
Buffer.
buffer, band-aid.
Yeah. No, great points. Points. So, process, receive forgiveness, and
Give it to the other person.
give it to the other person. And only one thing I would add, kind of as part of forgiveness, is see them with compassion and also with like, there were things that maybe, even if things were abusive, they are in need of help as well. And they need, to heal as well, so they can also move forward. So don't take everything so personal, but also like those were their struggles. And write down, I would add to that part,
Yeah.
things that you've learned through that experience. Because the moment we see ourselves as victims, like, I was rejected, I was never beautiful enough, and if we just feed on those painful spots, we are the victims, and we will live our lives as victims.
Yeah,
We will
absolutely.
always feel less and low. But if we say, well, I learned that I want a guy that values more than just the looks. I want him to love me and be attracted, but I want him to value my character, my personality. I want that. So then I learned that I don't want that, and I want something else, something deeper. So when we start to see what were the learning parts and growth parts of that traumatic event, suddenly it becomes a positive aspect to it. And so it's very strengthening to get out of it. So do that, forgive, find a community, coaches, mentors, people you can share, and get tools to keep moving forward.
And hobbies.
Yeah, and hobbies, projects. Just enjoy life and invest your life in things that are a blessing. So,
I'll ask the last question.
oh, okay.
How can someone tell if they are healing or just avoiding? Or how can you tell if someone is healing from their past trauma, or they are just avoiding, like brushing it under the rug?
I think we kind of mentioned some of those things, but one is definitely if the person talks about it or thinks about it. I mean, we cannot know what they're thinking, but if you're thinking about it and you feel still a lot of emotions and feelings resurfacing, probably there's more that needs to be worked on. If someone constantly speaking about that, probably they're also needing to process it to move forward, not always be processing it and coming back to it, but processing means you do the work that needs to be done and you move forward. So that is a sign that what was the question exactly? How can someone
tell if they are healing or just avoiding?
So that can be avoidance, or it can be that it was not fully dealt with. If someone hasn't processed it and they're just like, oh, I don't want to even talk about it. Like, it's a very sensitive subject that it's kind of like a place they don't want to go to. Probably they're avoiding it.
I would also add, sorry, finish.
No, those are the things that are coming to
I
mind.
would also add that if they are not healing from it and they are avoiding it, you will see it in their character change. They will be more irritable, and they would be more aggressive, or they would be the other extreme.
More fearful, anxious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And too submissive and all of those things.
Yeah.
It does definitely come out. They're not confident in their decisions. They're not confident in what they do. There's a lot of factors that come into play. So if someone is avoiding, you can see very clearly it affects other people as well. You
It's
cannot
true.
deny that. It is going to affect everyone around them. They're going to be constantly complaining about something. They're going to be blaming people or whatnot. You will be hearing it over and over and over again. But if they are healed, you will see more peace, more pleasant. Yeah, that is part of their life, but it's not present part of their life. It is past part of their
And
life.
they can share it as a testimony, as a blessing, even sometimes.
Exactly.
Instead of like as a trauma, pain, anxious, yeah. So very, very good practical things that are needed.
Yeah, and if you would like to learn more about these things, how you can come out of a traumatic incident or from your past relationships, and you want to have a better quality, healthy relationship moving forward, my wife just wrote a book. It's called Learning to Love, and we would recommend you to buy it, purchase it on Amazon, from our website. We will put the link in the description. Also, you can buy it on our website through ebooks, which is even cheaper if you prefer it that way. and you will be able to learn a lot of things. And it's not just about reading, there is also a lot of practical things she has given there where you can write down and process your emotions and your thoughts. And we pray that this book will be a blessing for you.
Yeah.
We will see you in the next episode.